Before anything, there is only a deep and profound silence. It is a darkness that is not empty, but full of potential. It is the velvet blackness of the space between stars. The quiet that precedes the first note of a symphony. This is not a void to be feared, but a womb of infinite possibility, holding everything that ever was and ever will be, in a state of perfect rest. There is no time here, no before or after. There is only a boundless, patient stillness. It is the canvas upon which the grandest painting will eventually appear. The unplowed field where every conceivable seed lies dormant, waiting for a signal that has not yet been sent. This is the great mystery from which all other mysteries begin. Then a change. It is not a sound, nor is it a sudden explosion. It is a gentle and almost imperceptible shift. A single point of light emerges from the heart of the darkness. It does not shatter the silence but becomes a part of it, a luminous whisper in the vast expanse. This first light is not harsh or demanding. It is soft, a suggestion rather than a declaration. It is the dawn of awareness, the first stirring of the universe waking up from its long and dreamless sleep. This light is the fundamental principle of possibility itself, the initial impulse that allows form to arise from the formless, and pattern to emerge from the undifferentiated whole. The light does not simply exist. It begins to expand. It unfolds like the petals of a celestial flower, spreading its tendrils of luminescence into the quiet dark. It is a slow, graceful process. A meditative blooming that reveals texture and depth where once there was only uniformity. This expansion is not a conquest of the darkness but a dance with it. The light and the shadow define each other, creating contours, shapes, and dimensions. They are not opposites in a struggle for dominance, but partners in the act of creation. The universe is not being filled with light so much as it is becoming a complex interplay of light and its absence, a tapestry woven from both threads. With this unfolding, the concept of a thing becomes possible. The light reveals the potential for structure, for separation, for individuality. Yet, this individuality is born from a single, unified source. Every photon, every glimmer, is an extension of that original point of light. The universe begins to articulate itself, speaking in a language of glowing filaments and shimmering veils. It is the first hint of the great paradox we will encounter again and again. That every separate part is inextricably connected to the whole. The journey from the void to vision is not a journey from nothing to something, but from unity to a beautiful and complex expression of that same unity. The gentle light continues its slow and magnificent expansion. It gathers and coalesces, swirling into vast, luminous clouds. These are the nebulae, the stellar nurseries where new suns are born. They are like colored smoke drifting through an immense cathedral, painted in hues of soft pink, deep blue, and ethereal gold. These clouds are not chaotic. They possess a hidden order, a gravitational grace that pulls them into elegant spirals and intricate webs. They are the raw material of creation, the cosmic dust and gas from which entire worlds will be sculpted. This is matter beginning its long and patient journey toward complexity, guided by an unseen intelligence that seems to be woven into the very fabric of space. From these glowing clouds, galaxies begin to form. They are immense, spinning islands of light, each one containing billions of stars. We see them from an impossible distance, appearing as silent, spiraling whirlpools in the cosmic ocean. Each star within them is a point of brilliant awareness, a sun pouring its energy out into the darkness. Yet, the galaxy itself moves as a single entity, a unified system turning slowly in the void. It is a perfect illustration of unity and multiplicity coexisting, billions of individual stars, each a fiery world unto itself, all participate in the same majestic collective dance. The galaxy is not a machine composed of parts. It is a living, breathing organism of light. The light from these distant stars travels across unimaginable expanses of time and space. It is a messenger, carrying the story of its origin. This light is the universal connector, the energy that binds everything together. It is the same fundamental energy that first emerged from the darkness, now organized into countless suns and stellar systems. When we look up at the night sky, we are not just seeing distant objects. We are receiving ancient information, participating in a conversation that began billions of years ago. The universe is communicating with itself through the medium of light, its past flowing continuously into its present, creating a seamless and unbroken whole. As we drift closer, we see that the space between the stars is not empty. It is filled with fine, shimmering dust, the remnants of old stars and the building blocks of new ones. This cosmic dust is like a fine powder, catching the light and revealing the invisible currents of gravity that flow through the universe. It shows us that there are no true voids, no real separations. Everything is connected by these subtle, flowing energies. The universe is a great, interconnected web, a single field of being in which galaxies, stars, and dust are all temporary patterns, like ripples on the surface of an infinite pond. The cosmos is not a collection of things, but a process of continuous creation. Now, our perspective shifts. We journey inward, from the grand scale of galaxies to the hidden world of the very small. The same light that illuminates the cosmos now reveals the intricate architecture of molecules. Here, in this microscopic realm, we find the same principles of pattern and order. Atoms, like tiny solar systems, bind together in precise and elegant configurations. They form geometric lattices, creating the crystalline structures of minerals and ice. These patterns are not random. They follow fundamental laws, an inherent geometry that seems to be a basic property of existence itself. The universe is just as beautiful and organized on this minute scale as it is in the sweep of galaxies. We see complex molecules forming, long chains of carbon atoms linking together. This is the beginning of organic chemistry, the foundation of life as we know it. These molecules are not merely static structures. They are dynamic, constantly vibrating and interacting. They twist and fold into complex three-dimensional shapes, creating pockets and surfaces that can connect with other molecules. It is a silent, microscopic dance, a symphony of form where each molecule plays its part in a larger composition. This is the level at which matter becomes imbued with a new kind of potential. The potential for self-replication, for metabolism, for life itself. The spirit of organization is descending into the very substance of matter. The ultimate expression of this molecular elegance is the DNA helix. It is a spiral staircase of information, a code written in a language of 4 simple letters. This beautiful twisting ladder contains the blueprint for an entire living being. It is a bridge between the inert world of chemistry and the vibrant world of biology. The DNA molecule is a testament to the universe's tendency to store and transmit information. It is a physical structure that holds a non-physical pattern, a memory that can be passed down through generations. Here, the line between matter and information, between substance and spirit, becomes incredibly thin. The structure is the message. In this molecular world, we see the same theme of unity and individuality. Each atom retains its identity, yet it gives up some of its independence to become part of a larger molecule. The molecule, in turn, acts as a single, functional unit. This principle of cooperation and organization is what allows complexity to build upon itself, step by step. From atoms to molecules, from molecules to proteins, the universe is constantly assembling itself into higher and higher levels of order. The same creative impulse that swirls galaxies into being is at work here, weaving the intricate tapestries of life from the simplest of threads. The cosmos is a master weaver, working at all scales simultaneously. Our journey now takes us to a young, blue planet. We are immersed in the vast, living ocean. The water stretches to the horizon, its surface shimmering under the light of a nearby sun. The ocean is a powerful symbol of the source of all life, a planetary womb from which the first living cells emerged. It is a single massive body of water, yet it is never still. It is in constant motion, driven by the pull of the moon and the heat of the sun. The ocean feels like a single breathing entity, its tides like a slow, deep inhalation and exhalation. It is the planet's own circulatory system, a colossal living fluid that connects all continents. We watch the waves roll toward the shore. Each wave is a distinct and individual form. It has a beginning, a crest, and an end as it breaks upon the sand. For a moment, it is a wave, a separate thing that we can point to and name. But what is a wave? It is not a self-contained object. It is simply a pattern of energy moving through the water. The water itself does not travel with the wave. It only rises and falls. The wave is a temporary form that the whole ocean takes. It is a perfect metaphor for our own existence. We are like waves, individual expressions of the vast ocean of being, here for a moment and then returning to the source. Below the surface, the illusion of separation dissolves even further. We drift through a world of silent, fluid motion. Schools of fish move as one, their thousands of bodies turning and flashing in perfect unison. They are a single, flowing organism, a superorganism made of many individuals. Each fish is itself, yet it is also part of the school. Where does the decision to turn come from? It does not seem to come from a single leader, but from the collective itself. It is an emergent intelligence, a wisdom that arises from the connection between the parts. The ocean is teeming with this kind of interconnected life, from coral reefs to vast forests of kelp. The sunlight filters down from the surface, creating shifting patterns of light on the ocean floor. These caustic networks are like living webs of light, constantly changing and reforming. They are a visual representation of how the universal energy of light interacts with the dense medium of water. Here, the spiritual and the material are visibly merged. Light, the symbol of pure awareness, is given form and pattern by the substance of the ocean. The ocean itself seems to be a kind of liquid consciousness, a vast, unified field of being in which countless individual lives arise and fall like waves, all part of the same great water. From the depths of the ocean, we rise onto the land and enter a great, ancient forest. The air is still and cool, filled with the scent of damp earth and decaying leaves. Giant trees stand like pillars in a natural cathedral, their high canopies filtering the sunlight into a gentle, dappled green. There is a profound sense of peace and presence here. The forest is not just a collection of individual trees. It is a single, interconnected community, a complex living system that has been growing and evolving for thousands of years. Every element here is connected to every other element in a delicate and intricate balance. The trees themselves are a marvel of natural engineering. Their roots delve deep into the earth, drawing up water and nutrients, while their leaves reach for the sky, converting sunlight into life. They are living conduits between the earth and the sky, matter and energy. But the connection goes even deeper. Beneath the forest floor, a vast and hidden network of fungal mycelium connects the roots of the trees. This wood wide web allows them to communicate, to share resources, and to warn each other of danger. The forest is literally a networked intelligence, a collective consciousness expressed through roots and fungi. We observe the slow, patient life of the forest. A seed falls to the ground and, over decades, grows into a sapling. A fallen log slowly decays, its nutrients returning to the soil to nourish new life. The forest operates on a different timescale from our own. It embodies a deep, unhurried wisdom. There is a constant cycle of growth, death, and renewal, but nothing is ever wasted. Death is not an end, but a transformation, an essential part of the continuous flow of life. The forest teaches us that life and death are not opposites, but two aspects of the same single process of being. As we stand in this quiet place, we feel ourselves as part of this network. The air we breathe is a gift from the trees. The ground beneath our feet is composed of the remains of countless generations of forest life. We are not separate from this place. We are an extension of it. The same life force that animates the trees and the fungi also animates us. The forest is a living demonstration of how individual beings can form a greater, unified whole without losing their individuality. It is a self-organizing, self-regulating system, a manifestation of the universe's inherent intelligence in a green, breathing form. Our perspective now turns to one of the greatest mysteries of all: the human brain. We journey inside, and what we find is astonishingly similar to the cosmic structures we saw earlier. We are, floating in a vast inner space, filled with a dense network of neurons. They look like glowing trees or galaxies, their long axons and dendrites reaching out to connect with one another. There are billions of them, forming a web of unimaginable complexity. This is the neural nebula, the universe within the skull. Each neuron is a single cell, but together they create the magic of consciousness, thought, and feeling. A thought flickers into being. We see it as a pattern of light, a pulse of electrochemical energy that travels in a wave across the neural network. It is a fleeting, beautiful cascade of light, jumping from one neuron to another across tiny gaps called synapses. A memory is not stored in a single place, but is distributed across the entire network, encoded in the strength of the connections between neurons. The brain is not a computer that stores data. It is a dynamic, living system that is constantly rewiring itself, constantly learning and changing. It is a physical structure that gives rise to the non-physical world of the mind. Here, at this interface, the question of spirit and matter becomes most pressing. How does this 3-pound organ of wet, biological matter create the subjective experience of seeing the color red, or feeling love, or wondering about the nature of the universe? How do electrical signals become conscious awareness? The brain appears to be the ultimate bridge, the place where the physical universe of atoms and energy somehow becomes aware of itself. It is a biological instrument of immense sophistication, designed to translate the patterns of the external world into the internal world of experience. The structure of the brain mirrors the structure of the universe. It is a network of nodes and connections, just like the cosmic web of galaxies or the mycelial network of a forest. This suggests a fundamental principle of organization at play across all scales of existence. Perhaps consciousness is not something that the brain produces, like a factory produces smoke. Perhaps the brain is more like a radio receiver, an antenna that is exquisitely tuned to pick up a signal that is already present in the universe. In this view, the brain does not create consciousness, but allows it to be expressed in a particular, individual form. For the first time, we see a human figure. It is not a dominant presence, but a small, contemplative silhouette standing on a beach at twilight. The figure is looking out at the ocean, watching the waves roll in as the sun sets. There is no action, no drama. There is only a quiet moment of observation. The human is not presented as the master of this world, but as a humble part of it, a witness to its beauty. This figure represents the point at which the universe becomes consciously aware of its own grandeur, through a specific, individual being. The human observer is a vessel of perception. Through the senses, the eyes that see the sunset, the ears that hear the waves, the skin that feels the cool breeze. The vast external universe is translated into an internal, subjective experience. The universe of energy and matter flows into the human nervous system and is reborn as a world of color, sound, and feeling. The human is not just a passive observer, but an active participant in the creation of this experienced world. The reality we perceive is a collaboration between the external world and our own internal structures of perception. This act of observation is a sacred one. It is the universe looking at itself. The atoms that make up the human body were forged in the hearts of ancient stars. The water in our cells is part of the same planetary cycle as the ocean. The electrical patterns in our brain follow the same fundamental laws that govern the galaxies. When a human being stands in awe of a sunset, it is, in a very real sense, stardust contemplating the star from which it came. This is not a relationship of separation, but one of deep and profound identity. The observer and the observed are two aspects of a single, unified process. The human presence is fleeting. Like a wave on the ocean, the individual life is temporary. But the act of awareness, the consciousness that flows through that individual, is part of something much larger and more enduring. The human is a temporary focal point for the universe's self-perception. We are the apertures through which the cosmos experiences its own beauty and mystery. Our role is not to conquer or control nature, but to be its sense organs, to witness it, to appreciate it, and to reflect its wonder back to itself. In this quiet act of being present, we fulfill our deepest purpose. We move closer to the human figure, closer and closer, until our entire field of view is filled with a single human eye. The eye is a perfect sphere, a miniature planet floating in its own small universe. The intricate colored pattern of the iris is like a nebula or a galaxy in miniature, a unique and unrepeatable design. The dark pupil at its center is like the darkness from which the universe first emerged, a gateway to an inner world. The eye is the organ of light, the primary interface between the inner world of consciousness and the outer world of form. As we look into the eye, we see a reflection. Mirrored on the curved surface of the cornea is the entire scene we just left behind. The twilight sky, the setting sun, the gentle ocean. The vastness of the cosmos is captured and contained within this tiny living sphere. This is the great return. The universe, which expanded from a single point of light, is now reflected and focused back into a single point of awareness. The outward journey into matter and form is met by an inward journey of perception and consciousness. The loop is closed. The eye is not just a passive mirror. It is an active organ of perception, the front line of the brain. The light that enters the pupil is focused by the lens onto the retina, a thin layer of neural tissue at the back of the eye. The retina itself is a piece of the brain that has pushed forward to meet the world. Here, photons of light are converted into electrical signals, the language of the nervous system. The eye is where the energy of the universe is translated into the information of the mind. It is the ultimate symbol of the spirit-matter interface, a biological structure that turns light into sight. This reflection in the eye represents a profound philosophical idea. The universe is not just out there, separate from us. It only becomes fully real, fully known, when it is perceived. The eye that looks out at the stars is made of the same stuff as the stars. Therefore, the universe is looking at itself through our eyes. We are the instruments of its self-awareness. The consciousness that looks through your eyes is the same universal consciousness that formed the galaxies and sparked life in the oceans. The eye is the point where the cosmos bends back upon itself, where the knower and the known become one. We pull back from the eye, and the scene dissolves once more into a gentle darkness, dotted with soft, distant stars. The journey is complete, but the central mystery remains. We have traveled from the cosmic to the molecular, from the ocean to the forest, to the brain, and finally, to the eye. We have seen how patterns of organization and intelligence seem to be woven into the fabric of reality at every scale. We have seen how individuality and unity can coexist, like waves on a single ocean. But the fundamental question remains unanswered, suspended in the quiet beauty of it all. What is this awareness that observes the world? Is it merely a temporary side effect of complex matter? A chemical fluke in the brain that creates a brief illusion of I? Or is consciousness something more fundamental? A property of the universe itself, which the brain simply tunes into? Is the universe a great mindless machine that accidentally produced conscious beings? Or is it a living, dreaming organism, and we are the parts of it that have woken up? We are left not with answers, but with a deeper appreciation for the question itself. The wonder is not diminished by our lack of a final conclusion. It is enhanced. The act of questioning is perhaps the most important part of the entire process. The universe, through us, has become curious about itself. This curiosity, this drive to know, to understand, to find meaning, is the highest expression of the intelligence we have witnessed on our journey. A galaxy simply spins, a tree simply grows. But a human being can look at the galaxy, look at the tree and ask, what is this? What am I? This self-referential questioning is the universe holding a mirror up to its own face and pondering its own reflection. And so, we are left here, in the quiet darkness, with this persistent and beautiful question. It is not a problem to be solved, but a mystery to be lived. To exist as a conscious being is to be in a constant state of wonder, to be a focal point of the universe's own inquiry into its nature. The final answer may not be a statement, but a state of being, a state of open, appreciative and silent awareness. The question, what am I, is not a puzzle for the intellect to solve, but an invitation from the cosmos to simply be present and to witness the magnificent, unfolding show.